What does it mean to be self-aware, right? The sense of X, as in always knowing where X is, as in you are here, as in you are looking for a spot, but you are the spot because X marks the spot. So really, where would you have expected to be then? Simply said, self-awareness is taking note of how I am affecting myself and how I am affecting people. Do you know how you affect yourself? Do you know how you are affecting people? How to become self-aware. Don't freaking say that you're self-aware. Everybody says they're self-aware. There was a study done by Forbes. What's the lady name? Psychologist Tasha Eurich states 95% of people who say they're self-aware are actually not self-aware. Only 10 to 15%.
So you're not self-aware. Well, actually, some of you maybe.
There's a difference between being self-conscious and overthinking all the time and being self-aware. Self-awareness comes from curiosity and honesty. Curiosity, when it comes to you, means being curious about you. So you're curious about your experiences, your relationships. You're curious about your emotions. It takes being insightful. It takes looking at your thoughts, your actions, your behaviors, your patterns. Being patient with yourself is super important during this time. It's funny how there can be things about ourselves that we don't even know. It takes time to discover everything. And even then, sometimes you don't discover everything. So example, you reflect on a strong emotion you had, right? You try to figure out what the root is. What caused me to have this strong reaction, right? You're going to identify that feeling. So you're going to ask yourself questions. What did that person do? How did I react? Why did I react that way? Why did I get so angry? Right? And honesty is the second part that's needed. And this is where the drop off happens for a lot of people who are semi aware. They may see a problem, but they cover it up. Ask yourself a question. Answer honestly, do something about it. So, for example, you and your friend, y'all both grew up, kind of poor. Y'all went to the same high school. Y'all was vibing. Y'all was chilling. Then you went to college and they went to college. Then all of a sudden, you feel me? You had to drop out. Life started hitting you hard. You're taking care of your mom. You got younger brothers and sisters. They finished a degree. Right now, as a matter of fact, they went back for a master's. They getting paid, right? And you working a decent job. You stressed. Let me figure out how I feel. That's jealousy. I envy the fact that you got the chance to live a normal life. I'm sitting here being held back by my family. I love them. At the same time, I really want to advance in my life. I feel like I'm wasting time. Wow. That's unpacking something. Now you got to do something with it. Recognize the emotion. Be honest with the answer, right? And then you want to take action. Some people purposely decide not to be self-aware, right? Because you got to face the ugly truth about yourself. Acknowledging the things we don't want to acknowledge can be difficult, right? But it's well worth our time, well worth our effort, because in the end, we have more control over our lives. Oh, and there's also people who are just self-aware. That is still not good enough. Self-awareness is a great first step in growing yourself. So for example, yes, I realize I'm self-aware. I can realize I'm an oversharer and I overshare other people's business. I acknowledge that. Now I got to think about that. Do I want people to not tell me things? Huh? They can't talk to me? Do I want to be called a leaky faucet? Only for the drip. Okay, so you are self-aware. You recognize that you are a mean or over-emotional or a negative person. That's step one. It's the first step. Step two is actually doing something about it. What are you doing about that? And we'll talk about that second step in a later video. How do I stay self-aware? Because you can be self-aware in one period of your time and then you can lose it, right? It just happens. Well, let's look at the definition of being self-aware. It says this. To be self-aware, focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, or emotions do or don't align with your internal standards. Once this process manifests itself, one is able to transition from a state of cluelessness and incompetence to a state of control and power. Did you catch that? Do you see how knowing your own internal standards is more important than anything else? Knowing your standards for yourself is how you routinely check yourself. It's like going to the doctor. The doctor has to have knowledge of what a good, healthy heart or lung or kidney looks like to be able to diagnose issues. But some people can't give themselves these checkups because they haven't decided for themselves what a healthy emotional or mental or a healthy spiritual life looks like. So they can't remain self-aware. It's funny how self-awareness starts with the standards you create for yourself. Look, we naturally have blind spots, and we will continue to have blind spots. All I'm saying is check yourself before you wreck yourself.